It is Thursday afternoon. It is 5 days post-labour. We want to take you back to Saturday. We started vlogging just a normal day and it turned into our birth vlog. Throughout this vlog, we're going to go through stages where we didn't know we were going to go into labour, and then Mia started feeling some stuff, and then early labour started through to active labour, through to the really intense stuff, all the way into the hospital and after birth too. So what are we getting?
Puppy pads. Apparently they come in very useful with a newborn and like no nappy time. So
we walked past the dad of two. He's just like, good luck, because he could see me as pregnant and we were getting puppy pads.
And he had like, his 2 kids, and then he's like telling them like, no, walk through, and the kid's like, come on, let's go.
We've just finished up in Bunnings. We got some puppy pads ready for Ari to have no nappy time, so she doesn't poop on the carpet. And the part of going to Bunnings is you get a sausage sizzle, which is like $3, and you get a sausage and a piece of bread.
And onion if you want.
And onion. It's hardly any onion, but it goes to charity.
Did you say yes onion? Or?
Yeah, I got onion. But
I thought you said no because there was no onion on it.
Yeah, there is onion. There's meant to be.
Onion on the tissue. On the napkin.
Gonna head to the markets now to get some fruit and veggies, and then gonna meet a friend in the Oxley, which is a nice cafe on the coast here. Also, my sister and her partner are over from the UK, and they're coming down this afternoon. We're gonna hang out with them, and 2 of my friends that I grew up with, Eros and Tom, they've just flown over from the UK. They've just finished up in Sydney. They're flying to the Gold Coast this afternoon too. So everyone's arriving, ready for the arrival of Ari Cherry. I was telling someone, it's like when the 3 wise men come to Jerusalem or Bethlehem for the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like the Virgin Mary is about to give birth and all the travellers are coming with their gifts and stuff. And that's what it feels like.
And they travelled like so far.
They've travelled so far. Yeah, and these guys travelled 16,000 kilometers, like all the way from the UK to over here. Crazy. They're not just here for the birth of Ari, but that's what we're saying. Birth of Jesus Christ. They've come over for different reasons, but it's all lined up really, really well. So, and they all fly back on like the 4th of December. So we're hoping she's here by then, and then they can meet her. But
yeah, either way, it will be good for us to be able to see them.
Yeah, and we're heading over to the UK in July and August next year. So yeah, she'll be like 6 or 7 months old, and that'll be super sweet. So it won't be too long till we see them again, but it'd be super nice if they get to meet Ari while they're over here now. See her as a newborn.
100%. And I feel like today's also a nice day to go into labour because it's like just quite moody, as you can see.
It's
like,
rainy.
It's spitting. It's like nice and cool. The last couple of days have been so hot. So it's kind of a nice time to go into labour.
I got such a thing against like touching and feeling like tissue and napkins and certain towels and squeaky sand. Like I've got such a thing against that. It's like a phobia. So I'm like touching this tissue and it's making me bleh. Does anyone else feel that? Anytime
we go anywhere, I'm the person that will always grab napkins to put in my car because who knows when you need them. And so I always grab so many, and Charlie's just the person that's like cannot stand even watching other people touch napkins or the thought of the sound being there.
There was this polystyrene box that got delivered to our house yesterday or the day before, and Mia just touched it and it squeaked, and it just went through me so much. I've never heard anyone else have it with tissues and towels though.
Oh, so cute. So it's like I don't know who they are.
The local politicians are having a vote currently to see who's, I don't know, we don't follow local politics. Yeah. We follow American politics.
But it's just so sweet because it's like I just like there's so many of them in a line waving, and I'm like, oh, that would just be like would suck of like waving so much and no one waving back. So I waved back at 2 of them, and my heart like
they were so happy.
One of the older guys, he saw that I waved and he's like face lit up, and then he pointed at me, he was like and then I waved at the next guy, and you could just see their like whole expression change, and like, oh, we're gonna get so wet at the markets. We went on a walk last night. I'm doing like the mile circuit where it's like 30 minutes upside down, 30 minutes exaggerated lying on the side, then 30 minutes of like gutter walking and walking just to like move my hips around. And as we were like midway through the walk, it just started pouring down rain.
Oh.
And it was so nice, it was so peaceful, and it was like 8:30 at night. We were just head to toe drenched.
Mia has this thing in traffic when she's driving where someone wants to pull out, Mia will wave them to come, and then Mia will just keep driving. It's like she wants to be nice, but then also she doesn't want to stop for them. So she won't slow down. She'll just keep going, and she'll wave them on. All right, you gotta wave this person out.
It's so funny because I slow down and then I like, yep, you can go. But then as I finish waving, you can go, I put my accelerator on more. It's just like an automatic thing. It's just.
Now we're just scouting out a car park. Oh, the bitch. I'm sure she's a nice lady. Sometimes people put shit in their car and they're not actually leaving.
And I feel like for them, there's nothing like more annoying or like awkward of like, I'm just putting stuff in my car. Like,
Yeah.
just stop waiting
It's like
for my car park.
Calm down. Mia's the most polite driver.
We just told them that I let them go and then I go to you.
Yeah. But that's being clumsy.
Okay.
There's my bit of onion. Where's my super
there's
soup?
a piece there and that's about it. I was really surprised that you said no to onion because I'm like, onion's so nice.
Onion's so nice.
Do you think I'll go into Lakewood today?
Mia asks me every day. So when do you think she'll come? When
Well,
does
so
Labour
far
start?
we've been wrong every day.
We have been wrong because we've been saying tomorrow.
Today. I have a feeling it's not today.
She knows when she's ready.
Yeah. It's so cute. We saw our neighbours underneath us, like
Two old ladies live in the 2 apartments below us.
Yeah, and we saw them this morning, and they were like, "Tomorrow's the 1st of December. The baby's still not here." I'm like, I know.
We know. Every single person's asking us.
Yeah,
It's
but it
like,
was really cute. With
how's
the older ladies.
Mia? Is baby here yet? It's like they want to know, and they're so lovely, bless. But then we have 30 of those conversations every single day.
Yeah. Then even like my family is calling every single day to be like, "Any baby yet?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I woke up this morning and just felt the urge to like message them saying, "No
Stop
baby,"
asking me.
no, like no baby today. And then I thought, no, I don't want that to be an everyday thing for the next 2 weeks. So there's still a chance that there's like
So just ignore them.
no. It's like if they call, I'll like just say, I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, stop. Time to stop.
Yeah, we'll
asking.
update you when there's something.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start saying to everyone. Made that decision today because
Today's the day.
yeah, yesterday I thought like for sure she's gonna come and she didn't. So now I'm like, okay, no one asked me.
Yeah.
And they mean so well. Like everyone's doing it out of love and everyone's excited.
Yeah.
Or like even if I message anyone, they all respond really quickly with all the response of, I thought this was gonna be like a baby announcement. Or,
Yeah. I sent a photo to my friend Amy yesterday, and she was like, "Oh my god, I thought that was going to be like the photo of the announcement that you've had the bub," but it wasn't.
Or like one of our friends' birthdays. We went out for dinner with them a couple days ago, and then I had a video of us singing happy birthday and the cake coming out and her partner like being all cute together. And so I sent it to her and she's like, "Oh, I thought this was an announcement. Like I thought you were sending me a video of
Everyone's just waiting for it.
Yeah. Which is so sweet that everyone's like so in it with us.
She'll come when she's ready.
Yeah. Okay, I think now's the perfect time to go out. I think
It's stopped raining. We'll take you to the markets. We'll show you around. We're in Burley. Wow. So we're now walking to the markets. We get water from the markets each week, and they always ask about Mia and how she's doing. But Mia hasn't come for the last month.
Yeah, I think it's almost been like 2 months that I haven't. I came once when Charlie was on a camping trip, but I didn't get water because I wouldn't be able to carry it myself, and they would have carried it. But
So we're gonna go see them, which will be
show her my
beautiful.
bum.
Mia's carrying around. There's Burley. And here's the markets. Have you seen those TikToks where it's like, "Can you watch my boss for me?" And they just leave the phone there.
So I got a really big bottle for postpartum. That's 2 liters in one, making sure I'm actually drinking enough water. And so far, it's really easy because it's really
It's got the little
fun.
messages on the side too.
Yeah, it's just such an easy to carry around. It's really cute because it's pink.
The whole last year or two has just been creating a life ready to bring our daughter in.
Yeah, and from my perspective, I feel like my whole life has just been intentionally setting myself up for this. It's like every work career that I chose towards is like, okay, I want to learn this so then I can start doing it myself, then like become a business owner, and then get to the point in business where I can step out of the business and it's still making money, and I can be with my
like the whole point of you starting business was to not have to be in business.
Yeah.
when you have Bub.
So then I just had control of my own schedule for when I had a family, and that's always been my intention since I could remember, like late high school or mid high school. So
once you don't work for anyone else, it's extremely difficult to go back, I feel. Once you've got time freedom, it's hard to become employable again.
I think there's a level of like when like maybe the first year of self-employment, there can be like the loneliness, or like you realize a lot of your friends were the people that you worked with, and it was so easy to have a social life when you don't have to be intentional about it. But now everything that we do in life is so intentional.
Yeah, so you work in a job, that's all your social circle, that's everyone you know. You've got these social parameters on meeting people. Like when you're in school, you become friends with people you're in school with because there's a social parameter there where you're like forced together. You become friends with workmates. But it's like when you leave work and want to start your own business, you won't relate to those people because they don't work for themselves. And then you won't feel worthy of the people who have got it figured out yet. So you'll just sit on this lonely table for a little bit, working through the uncertainty and forming your group of friends closer to who you want to be like. It makes it so much easier.
We're overall very grateful for the life that we have both set up for ourselves and for our family.
Yeah, and it's not been easy. Like a lot of uncertainty. But it's kind of like childbirth. You just forget about it and then you carry on. You're like, oh, I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, the good days are good. The good days are great.
The good days are worth getting through the bad days.
Yeah.
Look at these, there's a little family. Oh, there's such a beautiful family in front of us. There's a little boy, a little girl, and a golden retriever or a lab.
It's like a puppy. And
that's goals right there. That's so cute. That's what I want. That's what we have.
That's what we have.
You get to an age where you don't want all the flashy things. You want kids, nice home, and a dog, and a Porsche maybe. But just like I think like every man when he gets close to 30, he wants a Porsche, golden Labrador, a wife, 2 kids, peaceful life, work for themselves, time freedom. Like I feel like that's the American dream, the Australian dream.
Pretty much there, almost.
Yeah, working towards it, figuring it out as we go.
And touching on like the hard part, like this was hard, but it really is just like everyone chooses their hard. I feel like it's hard both ways. It is hard to work for someone else, and it is hard to work for yourself. It is hard to choose to have kids, and it's
you
also
can't avoid
hard not to like choose not to have kids. Like,
stop expecting a path to be easy.
Yeah.
Every path has hardship.
And
if you face hardship, it doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It just means everywhere there's hardship.
And that's like also super negative, because I also feel like each decision that you make, there's always positives in it as well.
Yeah.
Like there is so many positives of getting to work for someone else, and there's so many positives that you get for working for yourself, and
so
having a family. Like so many positives of having a family, so many positives of not having a family. So it's like there's not one way that's the right way.
Just whatever you want to do. That's the biggest thing, just not projecting your values onto other people. It's like,
see, like that one.
Yeah, that's so nice. Like to us, having a family working for ourselves, like it's such a no-brainer. Whereas like for other people, it might not be the thing. It might not be worth it. So like it's not projecting your values onto other people. It's just like, hey, this is what we like. You might like it too.
Yeah, it's really interesting that some people are striving to own their own business because they feel like it's what they're supposed to do to be successful. But in reality, they're like, oh, I actually don't want to be my own business owner, and I don't want that.
Yeah, some people are just like, it's not something they want.
But they believe that they are supposed to want it. Does that make sense? Because of like social media and how much they've like glamorized working for yourself.
So what do you want to want rather than what do you think you should want?
Yeah. Like before everyone else told you what you should want, what do you actually want?
Strip everything away.
Putting out to the universe and the angels that we would find easy park right across the road.
Me always puts it out to the angels and it works, and then I always forget, and then I never get a park. And I wonder why.
It always happens. It's like,
I was like, why haven't we got a park? Like, there's no park anywhere. Mia's like, did you ask the angels? It's like, no, I didn't ask the angels.
You just like envision the park already being there. Like whether if you believe in the Matrix, it's like if you're just creating your own reality, you are the one that's being able to create the free parking spot. So parking spot is free and available.
This is true.
So at this stage, I didn't necessarily know that I was in labor or active labor. I really thought I was just having cramping, which I was having cramping for the last 2 days. And so I was just trying to ignore it as much as possible. And like Charlie went to the gym, like everything was a normal day. And so I was trying not to get my hopes up too much because I had been getting my hopes up the whole week prior. Okay, so it is the 30th of November. He has been randomly vlogging all day today. We just went to a cafe. And probably from like 10:30 to 12, and it's like 12:15 now, I started getting like really strong period pain, like really, really strong, like very, a little bit breathtaking period pain. It was like I was talking to someone as like the height of it was happening, and I had to like stop for a second and just breathe in. And at the same time, I didn't want to make it obvious that I'm like, okay, contraction. Or let's hope they're contractions anyway. From like 10:30 is when I started really recognizing, it's like, okay, I'm starting to feel contractions or like period cramping quite consistently now, and it's getting quite intense. It's like it's getting quite intense consistently. And then that's when I actually looked at the time. I'm like, okay, 10:30. And then I was like, oh, let's see like when the next one is. And the next one was literally a couple minutes later, or like the next minute later. So ever since then, I noticed that it's like, okay, every couple of minutes there's contractions happening. So like sometimes it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Like it's not, I don't think it's fully consistent, but it's like consistent within the last 2 hours a lot. And the pain's like intense period pain. Just like, that's all I would call it. Before I started feeling these, before experiencing anything, I was really like searching the internet, like what does this feeling feel like, of like what's coming up. And to me right now, it's just like for me with my period pain, it's like when the period hasn't started yet, but you know that it's like it just started, because you just get this instant like, and then you're like, yeah, for sure blood has come out of my vagina. And that's what the pain was, and it was just like so consistent, and like, oh, okay, so to go to the bath, it just literally felt like I was that feeling of when you have your period and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and just like check to see if I got my period. And then that's pretty much what it was. I wiped and there was blood there. Before, it was like light pink like a couple days ago, and this was pink with a little bit more of a deeper depth to it. Like it still wasn't like blood. Of course it was blood, but it wasn't like super red. So, which is a good sign. It's just like, that just goes to show that it being light pink or deeper pink, just meaning that my cervix is doing the right thing. I feel like I lost my mucus plug, like parts of it. I feel like I was losing different parts gradually, maybe, like nothing that was that noticeable. And all I could think is like, thank God I looked into the toilet. Otherwise I wouldn't have noticed all of the mucus, like the strings of redness. And thank God I looked online previously of like what, I just have cramping. I feel like I can still talk through them. It's just like my train of thought just goes and disappears because I'm like, whew. Okay, now it's gone down a little bit. Yeah, my train of thought just like disappears when the contraction starts like happening more. I have no idea what I was just talking about whatsoever. Like, yeah, looking in the bathroom, like thank God I looked back into the toilet and then saw like what kind of just looked like the lining of your cervix coming out. That's what I would have called it back if it was my period, for example, and like with blood tinges in it. So I'm like, oh, okay, like that's like a good sign. It looks like it's just parts of my mucus plug coming out. And again, everyone figuring out what is right and what's not right. I feel like I've done a lot of research in it of like knowing that, okay, this is all safe. It's all like the normal levels of what can be happening, which feels really great. It's a Saturday. I don't feel like my midwife is working this weekend. I just have a feeling that she mentioned it to me a couple of weeks ago that she wouldn't be working this weekend, which I've always felt like we were going to call her and she wouldn't be, like she would have worked all of her hours for the day and that she wouldn't be able to be there, and then we'd have someone else that already knows like all my birth plan and things like that. But yeah, I just have a feeling that she's going to be busy and we'll have someone else. And since it's a Saturday, I don't want to message, and like if it was like midday on a day that she was definitely working throughout the week, I would message her and be like, oh yay, like feeling consistent contractions. But since it's the weekend and I don't want to like call any one of them just yet, in case, yeah, until like I just know that I'm going into labor, like properly, fully into it, and then call them so then they can get ready to go and meet me at the hospital. Other than that, it's like, I do see it as like, it is a job for them, and they do enjoy it, and sure they would also want to be enjoying their weekend as well. So I don't want to interrupt that until I 100% know like, okay, yeah, I think it's definitely happening. Let's get you involved. So let them enjoy the rest of the weekend so far. Okay, and so then anyway, when I was at the cafe and I was having these really intense cramping quite consistently, there's so much of me, so many parts of me that was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I don't really want to be at this cafe right now. I do just want to go home. And then I was thinking, no, it's like at this point, like this is a great distraction from like, if it's not overpowering me so much, of not overpowering, because it's like my body is the one that's creating these like waves and surges anyway. It's not like the power is outside of me, it's all within me. However, it's like, I'm gonna let my body do what it needs to do. And right now, as I'm like in this environment, it's actually it is a nice environment to be in. And I saw so many great friends or like people that I hadn't seen in ages. So that was just like nice to chat to them, met a new girlfriend. So that was really fun. It just got to a point where I'm like, okay, I just like need to go sit on the toilet, let everything just like come out, if that makes sense. It was literally that feeling of like, it feels like I just got my period. I need to go to the bathroom to make sure that I haven't bled through my pants. That's the exact feeling that I had. Like I got up and got everyone at the table water. Then I'm like, okay, it feels like I could have just bled through my pants. And I know that I wouldn't have, but it was just that feeling. And I'm like, okay, the fact that I had that feeling, let me just go to the bathroom and check. And that's when I saw all those things. My sister just called me. I'll give her a call back in a second. Let me just like hang up on her for a second. Oh, I don't want to. My sister had a dream last night that I went into labor this morning and it was only a 3-hour labor. I'm like, oh, yes, call that in 100%. So, and then I saw in the family group chat, there were like 5 missed FaceTimes from them. And so I feel like they think I'm in labor, and like so many of my friends are checking in every day. Like, are you in it? Like I'm having this feeling that it's happening. And I feel like it's been gradually happening for the last 2 days, but it's like gotten so intense the last hour. Like I've been talking on this for like almost 10 minutes now, and I've only had 2 contractions. So it's something that's super easy to go through. Like I'm having another one now. It's like slightly painful. It's like when it gives you like chills in your spine, because it's like, oh, that hurts. But is what it is. Anyway, and so then we went back to the table, started chatting, blah, blah, blah. And then we're just getting more intense, like right now. And then I just like, Charlie said that he was wanting to go home because him and his mate are going to the gym. Oh my God. Oh. I think I should just go on my hands and knees for a second and help the movements. because Charlie was saying that he was like, he had already planned to, the guy that we were catching up, like we went to the cafe and caught up with Lewis, one of our mates, and did like a work session. And then they were going to go to the gym together as well. He was like, oh, I want to go. Charlie was saying he wants to go home, eat some food before they go to the gym. So then we left. And all I was thinking was like, thank goodness, I just want to go home and be in this zone. And then when we got home, I just like sat on the toilet for 20 minutes, just allowing everything to like fully just like come out, if that makes sense. Like that sounds so gross. However, they say it's like when you're sitting on the toilet, since it is a endless hole, like a hole, like it's like a suction that really encourages gravity to really pull things down even more. And so I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. Like if I'm feeling these contractions, I'm wanting, or surges, whatever it is, I'm really wanting to like draw it down more. And then as I was there, had one of my good friends, Liz, reach out. She's like, okay, how are you going? And she's already checked in this morning. She's checked in all last night and all this morning. She's like, I have this urge, like I feel like it's happening. And we woke up this morning and like straight away she's like, you need to do this, this and this. I think she just like knew that the labor hadn't started yet, and she's like, you need to like no heat pack, long walks, express the colostrum, have sex, do this, do that. And so we were doing all the things this morning to get things moving. And then it's funny that it's like the moment things started getting really intense. Like I say really intense, but really intense for like meaning just having when I realized that the period cramping was getting intense and consistent. That she reached out. She's like, how are you going? And then I gave her an update. But all of this information I haven't even told Charlie yet, because I just want him to be like fully in the zone with his mate and at the gym. And then when he comes back home, I'll get him to like retidy the house. I think that's just been a really big thing of like when I go into labor, I just want him to like sweep all the ground and just like feel really, so everything just feels really clean and ready to go. But right now, I think it's just like since the last couple of days, things haven't stayed consistent. Like I've had cramping that felt slightly painful, like slight. But then they would just go away. And so I think that just like made me feel a little bit disappointed and like disheartened. It's so funny, I was like, I feel like I don't not communicate, but like I don't want to fully share that with Charlie, to be like, oh, I was really excited, blah, blah, blah. I think he just knows and can see that I was like really hoping, like I'm just getting so excited, like, I'm so excited to meet her, like I'm so excited to go into labor and have that experience, because I've spent the whole year, my whole year looking into like labor and giving birth and meeting my baby, like spending a whole year doing that, or even like plus even more than that, because we were trying for a baby and just like wanting this so much. And just another one has started, so just this is actually really comfy right now. For most of this pregnancy, I have not enjoyed laying on this ball. I'm like, how do people in labor lay on this ball? It seems so uncomfortable, blah blah blah. But through that little surge, it actually felt really good. Like again, no idea what I was saying. As soon as like that surge comes on, anything that I was saying just before, I have no idea, like not even the slightest tinge. Oh, it's something about like, yeah, Charlie enjoying his time at the gym. And I feel like if I told him that I was like, oh, I'm feeling like consistent things, he would have either stayed home if I was wanting him to stay home, which I didn't. I'm like, just enjoy all your socialness, enjoy, like, let me just be in my zone of like doing things the way that I want to do them. And then when he comes home, then get to tell him and then be excited about it. Because it's like, I think it's just such a thing. Like I would watch other people's, when they're like conceiving vlogs. And I remember in a lot of them, it's like the lady will, or the girls will always take the pregnancy test without their partner each month when they are trying to have a baby, only because it's like we're not wanting to incorporate the partner with the disappointment, if there is that disappointment, because we know how disheartening that can be when you are trying for a baby and then the pregnancy test comes back negative, or that when you get your period. And I feel like we feel it so much more because so much of our emotions are really tied to it. But then also having that, like, Charlie's so excited for this baby. I'm so excited to meet this baby, and like so excited to go into labor and have him support me, and just like all of us like getting to go through this experience together as a family. And it's just the thing of like, I just don't want him to feel disappointed, and that I also don't want the feeling of, it's like, oh, I let you down, that it hadn't started yet. Not that that's how he would feel. It was just a thought that I would be in my head. Like, even when I'm expressing colostrum, it's quite slight. Like, it's a couple milliliters, and I get a little bit disheartened from that. And he's so encouraging. He's like, so cool, like, you've done so much, great job. Like, I just have my own voice in my head of like, what, yeah, it's like the expectation of like, oh, maybe they had that same expectation that I had, that there should be more colostrum, or that these pains should be consistent and go into labor today. But then it doesn't turn into anything more than what it was. So I think it's just like, at this moment when my girlfriend messaged me, like, we have a group chat of her husband, me and Charlie, and that's like where all of our pregnancy updates and chats are always. And she sent a message in that group chat, and then I just messaged her privately with all the update of what I'm feeling now, just so I wouldn't incorporate Charlie in it just yet, because that's what I think it is. Like, I think I just don't want to let him down of me believing that this is like early stages of labor, and if it doesn't end up being that. So I think I'm just in the feels of it all right now. So yes, right now just letting my body go with it. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom one last time, and then I will call my sister back, and then I'll express colostrum as well to try like to get things to continue on the progression that they're going now. And then I have my raspberry leaf tea there to drink as well. I made it before I left, so then it would be like an iced tea or like a cold tea when I get home. Yeah, so I'm having another surge now, so we'll end this video here, and we'll do an update probably after I tell Charlie. Okay, I got to the peak of it. Yeah, it's like, I'm planning on starting to time them when the pain is like unbearable, if that makes sense. So it's like there's like a split moment where I'm like, holy fuck, and then that feeling goes away, and then I'm like, okay, I'm fine. So it's like when I feel like those moments are longer, or that like I feel like pretty much fine now, like it's just a period pain that I'm having right now. It's not a really intense, over breathtaking pain. So I feel like once it starts getting more that I can't really talk through them is when I'll start timing them. But yeah, I'm wanting to labor as much as I can at home. Like, I love that it's daylight. I love that it's like moody, so it's like not hot, it's super cloudy, it's not raining anymore, but it's like super, super moody. Okay, see, another one starting again. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go call my sister. Okay, so I've just gotten off the phone with my sister. Such a great conversation. We were on the phone for like 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes. And so then I just got off the phone to her, had a couple contractions on the phone call. I'm like, okay, I need to stop talking, just like get off the phone and just be in the moment right now. So it's so crazy. They kind of like stop for like 5 minutes and then they come on. Like I swear I just had one a minute ago. So anyway, I'm just gonna go take my laptop to the toilet as well and then do some work, like just do some organization things that I was wanting to do as I'm feeling it all. Okay, so it's literally been only a couple minutes since I spoke to you last. I got off the phone with my sister and we were on the phone for like just over 10 minutes, which was really nice, just to chat, catch up. Like she had a baby like 3 and a bit weeks ago, like I would say pretty much 4 weeks ago almost. And so that was so nice to chat to her. I had a couple surges through the call and they were fine until the last one when I was the one talking. And I was like, okay, like I need to get off the phone. Like my mind, when the surges come, my mind just completely, like the train of thought gone straight away. Oh, okay. Oh wow, I can breathe for the first time. Just like, oh, I feel like I could cry. When the surges do come, like I said before, my brain goes like, holy fuck, that's intense. And then when it goes away, I'm like, oh my god, like just then when I was like, oh my god, it just stopped, like the cramping, like the surge, like there's a peak to it, and then when it starts coming down, that's when I start talking again. And then there was just like release where I didn't feel any pain. I'm like, wow, okay, that feels really nice, and just like really taking in the most of that feeling right now. Oh, a little bumps out, so cute. And so yeah, I'm feeling, oh my god, I just feel so much lighter right now. Oh, that was really intense. Couple minutes just before. Oh, yeah, it got really intense. That the reason why I started this, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to start timing them now, because I was like, okay, it really got to a point. There's been a couple where I'm like, oh my god, I could cry. I'm such a person that I'm like, I have a mental thought of like, oh my god, I could cry, and I scrunch up my face like, oh, but I don't actually cry. But it would be lovely to cry and like just have that release of emotions, like that beautiful emotion of just like surrendering, releasing, and just allowing my emotions to come through. So I think that is so beautiful. It hasn't happened yet. Taking in the moment of just feeling calm and relaxed feels really good. I think I'm excited for Charlie to come home and just like clean the house. It's so funny because like I just have an urge of like, there's like, we could do a small load of washing and have everything all clean and ready to go. But then it's like, it's raining, there's literally no point of putting on a washing because it's just going to stink because we have to put it hanging up inside. So, and it is, what else is really funny is like I cared so much of what I would go into labor in, of like what's the best thing to labor in. And then I was thinking it would be my activewear pants. Hence, because they're really stretchy, they're really comfy, blah, blah, blah. And now thinking about it, like maybe when the surges start getting a lot more intense, and I want like the TENS machine on my back if we choose to use that or not. We do have it in our hospital bag in case I choose and opt in for it. That would be helpful. But what I found really convenient right now is having a dress on, because all I have to do is like lift it up and then just sit on the toilet and just like allow my body to, I think it's definitely a mental thing for sure. Like it physically is helping of like pull the gravity down. I should be sitting on my ball now thinking about it. Okay, yeah, that's good. We'll just do like some movements. Oh, okay, yeah, so sitting on my, I feel like I should be sitting, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I feel like I should be sitting on my ball just so like I'm constantly like moving my hips, like just creating space for Bub to move down into my hips even more. I'm genuinely so excited for this experience. Even though like the feeling is intense for sure, but then like there's a moment like this where I feel fine. Mostly. Because like, yeah, that was only a minute of like getting over it. That's my update. Let's see when Charlie comes home. When he goes to the gym with mates, normally he's longer than he would be if he goes by himself, which makes sense because I like doing reps together. Oh yeah, what I was saying is like when I go to the bathroom, it's so easy to have like a dress to just like pull it up and then sit on the bath on the toilet and just like feel like fully released and surrendered. Which then even now I could see myself through that surge. I'm like, I just want to sit on the toilet because I feel like that will just, it like helps with the pain. But then I think I'm just calculating the pain of like, oh, it's like if you had like really bad barley belly or something. But yeah, I just realized I was like, hey, it's just like my body, just like breathing through it, getting to fully surrender and enjoy the experience. So yeah, I just have such a thing of like, oh, let's pack the bag, let's get everything ready. But I know that everything is ready because I've been so ready to go into labor for so long. It's been over 2 minutes now since my last surge, so it's definitely no active labor happening right now. But I'm very excited for it all to happen. Like just to know that like I'm coming home and then I'll come home with a baby girl. And I also haven't drunk any tea or anything yet, so it's all happening. How exciting.
So by this stage, I just walked in through the door from the gym and Mia was in labor. She hadn't told me yet, and it was about 1 p.m. So she'd been in labor since like 10:30. It was quite a surprise to walk into, and it was super exciting. And I had this energy straight away, like I need to get the house ready. So I cooked the food, cleaned all the house, prepped everything, got the car ready, and it was just such exciting energy, right?
Yeah, Charlie was so excited and so supportive the moment I told him. He was like, oh my gosh, it's like, let's get everything ready. Like, let me clean, let me cook food, let me do this. Like, he was just so eager and so excited, which felt so nice to know that I told you that I was in active labor and it was like actually happening.
So this stage you're going to watch is early labor, and it goes into active labor, and we'll touch base again throughout. I feel like I'm filming an animal at the zoo. Just made us some lamb and salad, getting some healthy fats in, get the calories in, ready for labor. Oh yeah. Labor started. How are you feeling?
I feel like I hope that it continues to progress.
Yeah. You do.
I was saying to Charlie, it's like when it's not super intense, I'm like, oh, like it's okay, I can breathe through it and talk through them. And then when it's happening, it's just like, oh my god.
So
and
cool.
I feel like they're quite consistent, like every 5 minutes.
So cool.
At least.
I kind of want to keep the camera on you so people can watch you go into a surge.
That was like, if this is no pain, and this is like the peak of my surges right now, it feels like I'm constantly here, and then it goes up, and then it reaches the top part, and then it goes like this, and then it starts to ease off, and that's when I can talk again. Oh, I feel weird with the camera on me. Yeah, it makes me feel like I wanna like no. It's like when the surges come in, I'm like, I could vomit, don't give me more food.
Yeah.
By the moment they go away, I'm like, oh, yum.
Food.
Oh yeah, something that we didn't say is like when you came home and you just put the meat on the stove and I just vomited so much.
Yeah.
It's like, I hadn't told you yet that I had like been having surges for the last 3.5 hours. It was mid-conversation, then I just went silent.
Ran to the toilet.
And then I'm like, yuck, that's stinks. And then I ran to the bathroom, the toilet, and then I yelled out to Charlie to like get me a bucket. And then I just like vomited and vomited and then vomited again. And I'm like, okay, I feel better now. I stood up, then I vomited and I vomited. I'm like, okay, done now, I feel better. And I vomited again, and then I'm like, okay.
Life. Early labour.
I felt like I always feel good after it.
Yeah.
Though, which is great. But
Yeah, you're doing amazing.
thank you. My back is starting to get a lot more sore.
So at this stage, it really went from early labour to active labour, where shit started to get intense, didn't it?
Yeah, it's so funny because now when I look back, I'm like, oh, it was a breeze. I don't necessarily remember the transition. Like I've already forgotten it of being like, oh, it was easy.
Yeah, but at the time it felt super intense, and it's like a military operation.
Yeah, okay, now I remember like I needed you by my side every second. Like I just wanted you by my side
Yeah.
the whole time.
So we had like 5 hours of intense contractions together, on and off.
And the time went so quickly. Like it literally felt like it was like 20 minutes.
Yes, wow, they got home at 1, and then this was 4:30, and then it's like, next minute we know it's 9 p.m. and we've given birth.
Yeah, it happened so fast.
It is 4:32 p.m. on the 30th of November. Contractions are rolling in. They're like 3 every 10 minutes, lasting 30 seconds.
30 seconds to a minute.
Get in there.
Yeah.
And they're getting more and more intense.
It's like the fact that I don't have an intense contraction right now. Like my whole body's like, oh my God. I can breathe and relax.
And then it gets pretty intense straight away.
Yeah, and then it feels like I need to vomit.
So we've got a
It's
bucket
like,
ready as well.
When the like surge isn't really intense, I feel hungry and I feel this. And then the moment the surge is there and gets really intense, it feels like I just need to vomit because of the pain. And so then when I feel good, I'm like, do I want to eat because I feel hungry, or
just vomit it up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna vomit it up.
So we're waiting. Gonna hang out at home as long as possible.
Yeah.
And then it'll get to a point when we're like, okay, time to go to hospital. And we'll contact the midwife and it'll all happen.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I'm so excited to meet Ari.
Yeah, I'm
the 30th
so
of November, hopefully her birthday will be.
Yeah.
Calling that in.
Time's going so quickly. Like you said, it's 4:30.
Yeah.
So good. Especially it's like when the first like pains really, when I started to really take notice, it was 10:30.
Oh, wow.
So
Like the
Well, I
light
better-
contraction started early.
brush my hair because it was pretty
So we get in all beautiful, ready for the hospital.
just like decent enough. Like my okay, bye.
Bye.
How are you? Okay, go. So in active labor, the contractions or the surges started to get super strong and more frequent. It really helps with knowing what my body is doing, what it's going through. So knowing that the pain wasn't outside of myself, it was like my body was creating all of these surges to help bring on birth, and knowing all the hormones that were being released. That's when I put on the TENS machine. So that was like
The patches on her back with the wires.
yeah, which then just encourages, it's like a little electric shock.
Yeah.
I would say if I'm not in labor, it's not comfortable, but since I was in labor, it was
Took a lot of the pain away.
Yeah, it took so much of the pain away. And so that was one massive pain relief. And then the other one that helped so much was Charlie doing counter pressure on my hips.
Butt squeezes.
So what we were learning of, it's like him putting pressure on my hips allowed my hips to open up more, or like open up in a different area.
Yeah, it's like
of my
opened your
hips.
pelvis up to make more room.
Yeah, and it helped so much. And so every single surge that I had, Charlie, every single one that Charlie got home from, like as soon as Charlie got home from the gym, all the way up until I gave birth, every single surge, he was pushing on my hips.
I had such a pump by the end of it. Like my shoulders and my chest were super pumped.
Yeah.
It is about 6 o'clock in the evening and Mia's contractions are lasting around 1 minute and 10 seconds with around 3.5 minutes in between. And they're getting pretty intense. Like she just threw up because of the intensity. So we're still in like active labor right now. So we're gonna hold on as long as possible at home, and then we'll head to hospital as soon as Mia becomes like unbearable with the pain. But we've let the midwife know what's happening, so they're all prepped and ready, waiting for the phone call. So yeah, we'll keep doing this for a few more hours and see what happens, see how she progresses. So after all this active labor inside the house, it was time to go to the hospital. Like shit was getting really real. So I was phoning up the midwife, wasn't I?
Yeah, so from my perspective, it didn't feel like it was getting super real. It felt like I was still in super early labor. I hear so many people go to the hospital too early and they get sent back home, or it just like they don't progress as quickly if they go in too early. And so I thought, okay, this is still just the very start of pregnant like labor, and I don't know, it's going to get more intense. It's too early to call the midwives. It's too early to like get people involved. I don't want to annoy them just yet because I feel like I have so much longer to go. And
whereas from my perspective, I was like, holy fuck, the baby's very close.
Which in hindsight now, so grateful for that. But in the moment when Charlie's calling the midwives, I was just so frustrated because I'm like, we're not ready. We're annoying them. It's not time yet.
Why are you speaking to them?
And then when I was having a contraction, like my whole thought was just like, I just want to grab the phone, hang up and be like, be with me. After Charlie got off the phone to the midwives, it was the only reason that made me start thinking about going to the hospital. In hindsight, Charlie was already in like, okay, we're ready to go. And in my mind, I was still like, I don't want to go yet. It's not time. But the reason why I decided I was wanting to go is because it was like, if these contractions are getting more intense, I don't want the contractions to be even more intense and Charlie not be able to do the counter pressure for me. So I'm like, I might as well get this half an hour drive done now. So then when they get more painful, I can have him there with me.
Yeah, let's get this drive out the way.
Yeah.
So we're driving to the hospital. Mia was in the back on the back seat. I was on the front and still contracting. But then we rocked up at the hospital at 7 p.m. So we left home at 6:30 and arrived at the hospital at 7 p.m. And we just rocked up into the like drop-off area at Gold Coast University Hospital in Southport and got everything, went upstairs, like packed everything, slow walk upstairs, checked into the birthing suite. We were there like 7:10 probably. And then, yeah, this next footage, it gets quite dark because the room's pretty dark. We set up the lighting, everything's set up, calm music's on. And yeah, we'll keep you updated throughout it. We made it to hospital. Mia's chilling out, it's pretty dark in here. Fans on her face. Lights are set up. Bed. Bath. Mia's doing amazing.
Drizzle on the back. No. Okay.
Wow, that looks like a head. Oh my god, a head to the baby.
I think I won't be leaving the room, but if you do and if you need someone, that red one's the one to pull.
Charlie, water, come back.
Nice and slow.
Her head's really coming out. Oh fuck, it feels.
It's time, baby. You got it. It's so capable.
Is the head full?
No. So at this point between the surges, I actually starting to feel really relaxed and calm and super, super peaceful and just like in my zone. And it helped so much of the midwife saying it's like, oh, I can put my hand down to feel if I can feel her head. And straight away, I could feel her head. I was
Crazy.
like, yeah, I can feel her head. It's like, it's right there. And it was really cool because at the first part, it just felt like there was a little like hard knob thing. And then by the next surge, I could feel her like a whole ball head right at my perineum.
Yeah, and I was behind her and I could see like this. She's got hair on her head, like black hair. I could just see like this black hair going in and out of Mia's vagina.
And I could feel this massive line here. Now I know that it was a line here. It just felt like it was like an umbilical cord and then her head. And I was like, oh my God, like what is that? That's so insane. And that was really, really, like that's so cool. I still remember that feeling of her head really pushing on my perineum a lot, and the feeling of her head and getting to like feel that with my hand was so amazing. And then when it got to, they call it a ring of fire, exactly what it sounds like, the ring of fire. When it got to that stage, I thought that stage was going to last a really long time. But the moment I felt it, I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is it. This is what they call the ring of fire. And when I felt that, there was only 2 surges of the ring of fire, and that one of those surges being her coming out.
Wow,
which was really
so
quick.
fast.
Yeah. So when her head comes out, do I just stay in this position?
Whatever you want to do.
It's 9 o'clock on the dot, baby. So close, baby.
Ouch. Ow! Ow!
Grab the mirror for us.
Ah! 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 Grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it.
It's okay, she's beautiful. She's
Gentle rub.
It's okay, she's great.
Good work.
Look, she's beautiful. Look.
Oh my God, thank you guys so much for all your help.
You're amazing now. You must just warm out.
Thank you guys so much. Should she
It's
like
okay, it's okay.
She's just trying to get used
She's
to
good.
it. That's it.
take it as long as you guys can watch her to make sure she's okay?
Absolutely. Got you.
Thank you guys so much. And
Well done.
She's so happy.
Good job.
yeah, but you're doing so well.
She's so good, baby.
Guys, this just came out of my vagina. Hi, Papa.
Hey, Ari.
Oh, you're doing so good, sweetie.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, beautiful.
Oh, yum, yum, yum.
Yeah,
Hi.
like a bit back, baby. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so appreciative of you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, you're doing so well, sweetie.
You got underneath?
Guys, she just came out of my vagina. That's so crazy.
Well done.
Baby, you're so cool.
Oh my
Best.
god. Oh my god. I did that. Yeah. It's great that she's crying.
Yeah. The lungs are clear, she's happy.
Oh, look how well you're doing, sweetie.
Really light, sorry.
Yeah, that's so fine.
Oh, look at her beautiful face.
Oh, she's so airy.
I knew it was a good time to get in the bath.
Thank you so much.
Just whenever you're ready, do you think we could help you to get out of the bath slowly?
Mia had just given birth, the baby was there on her chest, and it was such a beautiful moment where we were just embracing each other. And baby was so calm as well, because in a water birth, they go straight into the water and they don't even know they're born yet. So they're so calm. Like you see a lot of babies come out screaming so much, but in a water birth, they're so calm and relaxed. So got her onto the chest, and then she started screaming a little bit, which is beautiful. But then it was time to get out of the bath and go onto the hospital bed. So we're trying to maneuver that, like get Mia and slippery baby onto a bed so they can go like check everything out to see if it's all good. So how was that for you?
It was, from that moment, all I heard about is like, is she safe? Is she good? It's like,
Yeah, Mia was like, do whatever you need to do. Like, is she good? Is she good?
yeah, I was like, I've done my part. Like, she's birthed out. She's so happy. I'm holding her. Like, make sure she's okay. Like, if I'm moving, make sure she's okay. Like, is she breathing? Am I holding her okay? It's like, that's all I cared about at that point. And it was really funny because it's at that point, after it was in the last few stages where I'm like, oh, this is actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And the moment I birthed her, my thought was, oh, I could easily do that again.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting because some people go like,
so they have a traumatic birth. And,
yeah, or like forget about the pain months later.
Yeah.
It's like straight away I'm like, oh, I could easily do that again. Like,
Yeah.
I could definitely have more
Yeah, as soon as she did it, you're like, wow, that was really not that hard. It was difficult compared to what she thought.
Yeah, compared to what I thought I was like getting myself into, it was so much easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
Hey, how does it feel right now?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I don't know.
Oxytocin.
Yeah. It's like feeling some pain in the vaginal area. But
No.
Arrival, you must be quite happy.
Hello. You look so happy.
I love you so much.
Hey, baby. Oh, is it a little bit bright? Oh, who's that? Who's
What's
that?
happening?
Oh, hello. So the birth was really, really fast, and Ari was 8 pounds and 4 ounces, so quite a big baby as well, and Mia's first birth. And she came out so fast that Mia needed stitches afterwards because there's a bit of tearing. So
Like a second degree tear.
Second degree tear. So we did a bit of stitching afterwards. Well, I didn't. The doctors did, which took a bit of time actually. Like the birth was so fast, and then it was 9 p.m. by the time she'd given birth, and we weren't out of that room until 3 a.m. with all the paperwork and stitching and stuff like that. And also Mia had lost a bit of blood as well. It was up to a litre by the end. And if it's anything over 500 mil, they're like, okay, time to do something. And that's because her uterus wasn't contracting properly to stop the bleeding. So she was continuing to lose blood. So she needed a cannula in her arm so they could get oxytocin in, and it actually stops the bleeding. So that was that whole process, wasn't it?
I think it was to encourage my body to keep contracting to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, because after birth, the body can be like, oh, right, I'm done. But actually it needs to keep working to stop the bleeding.
And it's so funny because the doctors, or the midwife was saying that, and it's like, that's so funny because that was my mindset. Like, I've done my part.
Done.
Like, I'm done.
Finished.
And even my body was like, yep, I'm done. Like, I don't need to do anything else. And so one other thing is like how long stitching took. Like, that took over an hour.
Yeah, Mia was on gas as well. Mia did the whole birth natural, 0 painkillers, 0 medical intervention, just in the water, no gas whatsoever. And then afterwards, like getting stitches and stuff, it'd be really painful and really sore down there. So she had the gas. Like, it was the first time Mia's ever done anything like that, any drugs. She's so innocent. And then she was just puffing on this gas. She's like, oh, while her vagina's getting stitched up.
It was really funny.
It was such a funny moment.
Yeah, I prepared my mindset so much for giving birth. Like, everything's natural. I'm like, yep. And then after I got onto the bed, I'm like, I've done it. Natural birth. The placenta's out. Ari's out. And the stitching was so painful.
God,
like,
it looked terrible.
this first time ever having stitches, so like experiencing that pain. And they put so much local anesthetic, but I could still feel everything. And
when they pull the thread through of the stitches.
yeah, so they gave me the max amount of local anesthetic that they could, and then they gave me the gas as well.
If you're watching this and you're preparing for your first pregnancy and your first birth, I recommend doing perineum massages. That's something we didn't do at the end.
We didn't even do
And
it once.
I reckon if we did that, it would have not resulted in maybe.
We'll know for next time. It's like it's something that we knew that we could have done and
Yeah.
should have done, but it just, I think I tried to do it once myself, and I'm like, oh, so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
Give me the stitches.
You got it? Do you want me to help?
Got a little burrito.
It's so sweet. It looks like it looks like our room's a mess, but it really is. We've just like have snacks everywhere. It is so good. Oh, it's so cute. And we go to like a breastfeeding class in 20 minutes, half an hour. So good.
And then she's turned around right. That's why she's got that little. Like, can you feel how her head, like her bones have crossed right over?
So that was the whole birth experience. It was incredible. And so many people have these preconceived notions of birth that has to be this traumatic, painful, terrible experience. But ours was completely opposite. It was like 100% natural. It was a beautiful experience. It was so enjoyable in a way. Like there's so many amazing emotions, and the bonding between the three of us, like it was incredible.
And I feel so great now. Like the recovery has been so great.
It's 5 days later. Look at her.
I was like, it's such a big thing is like how much Charlie helped me through pregnancy overall, but then so much through labor and then through postpartum. It's like I feel like we've been such a massive tag team, and it's helped us so much. It's like recovery, figuring out how to look after.
You just figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole nother video on newborn stage. But yeah, it's just so rewarding. Like it's a bit challenging at times, but then you figure it out, and that's like so rewarding.
I just feel like it's honestly such a beautiful experience, which I love. Like I love I love that in the future I'm going to be able to say, and now I'm able to say, like my birth experience was so beautiful, and I would do it again 100%. Like all natural. It was just so nice that I made sense of my body and what was happening.
You're so in your body as well.
Yeah,
and you're in control of your own birth.
Yeah, it's like I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching back the birth videos, I'm like, wow, I did that. That's so cool.
That's part of the reason we're making this video as well. Is a time capsule for us to look back on, and Ari to look back on one day as well.
Yeah, it was like all three of us, Charlie, me and Ari, all worked so well together
We did.
to birth.
And we're working well together now as well.
Yeah.
It's so cute. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to be posting videos every single week where you can keep up to date with us, see what we're getting up to, see how Ari's getting along, see how the newborn stage is, getting around life on the Gold Coast, building businesses, going about life, and yeah, figuring out as we go. So we're sure wanting more kids in the future. So if you stick around long enough, you'll be able to see that too. So make sure you subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, now you found the book again. Isn't that cool?